Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Depends on what hours you're working. Wanted to make a video and talk to you about a few items that coming up pretty hard from everyone. Questions about the $6,000 signing bonus. And I normally would make a video from the president's office down the hall, which flooded somewhere back in October or November, and it's completely gutted, no carpet, no furniture. So I just thought it would be entertaining to make one from my annex office, the library down here at the hall. So as you can see, it's quite the mess, but I do like to work from these whiteboards. $6,000 signing bonus for M&R. The early out offer that the company, it's like a dangle a carrot out in front of everyone. And the stand instead language, which I think is causing some confusion. So want to talk a little bit about those particular questions. $6,000 signing bonus. People are worried that I'm getting phone calls. Are they taking it away from us to pay for the lawsuit? Are they sticking it to M&R and giving it to Fleet? And, you know, fill in the blank. Why? Fill in the blank. Blah, blah, blah. So it was left off of the maintenance and related highlight sheets that we put out yesterday. Those highlight sheets were made by somebody, I assume, in the association. I didn't have a part in it. The one that I worked with my TWU co-workers, local presidents, Gary Scheibel and Raleigh Reeves, and the rest of the negotiating committee for the TWU. That highlight sheet, we made sure that it was included in it, and I've got permission to get these posted. So below this video link, they will be posted. The highlight sheets that I had a part in working on. But the other highlight sheets, April 23rd, 2019, the company put out their proposal on JetNet, and where they were trying to negotiate straight to the membership off of their JetNet. It also mentions in here a early out company proposal. Talks about some dollar amounts in there they would give you. They were going to offer an early out. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then at the conclusion of negotiations, the association put out a document which is on our website. It's on the association website. And for the M&R, if I read that correctly, it says signing bonus $6,000. It was a oversight by the people that put together the highlight sheet that was posted with the contracts yesterday, and it was left off. Talked to the company, talked to union people above my pay grade, and it's just an oversight. If this contract is ratified, the M&R group will get the $6,000 signing bonus. There will be a implementation schedule put out, and it will also state in there, I'm told, that when you would receive that by date of ratification, so many days out. So I believe if you're M&R and you're concerned about why it's not listed, we're going to produce documents going forward that will show the $6,000 signing bonus. Stand instead and the early out offer. So get a lot of phone calls about, are they not going to offer an early out now? You guys took that away from us. You changed it to $22,500. We tried to enter into talks with the company about an early out offer, and we wanted to know they were going to offer it by seniority, who they were going to offer it to, when you could sign up, how long would you have to leave. The company did not want to discuss it, and the association put out a document which is on the Local 514 website and on the association website, and it says what to know about the early out offer. You can go to our website or their website, pull that up, and you can read. Basically, it says we tried to enter into talks with the company about an early out, and they simply wanted to control that themselves. So they want to offer an early out. Need to maybe ask your supervisor or your manager to find out some details about that. It'd be interesting to know what some of those details are. And some of the phone calls I'm getting is people upset that the union got involved, or they're going to pay the lawsuit with the fact that it was going to be $105,000 for a full paid AMT, and the unions got involved, and now it's only $22,500. This language, voluntary early out program, it's basically the same language that's existed in our book, that if they have a RIF or reduction or reduced headcount, you can volunteer and get paid $22,500. Two separate conversations. Been asked, one other thing before I get into this. Got to ask another question. Just so you know, getting all the questions. Got to ask a question about jury duty. Did we take your civil right away from you to go participate in jury duty? And the answer to that, in the M&R book, and the books are numbered a little bit differently. I'm looking at the M&R. It's on page 150, paragraph J, which is line 39, and then on number 1, which is line 41, it talks about your rights to go to jury duty if called to service. So the company nor the union took that away from you. So I'm getting lots of questions, lots of phone calls. One of the questions I get is, what do I think? Am I going to vote yes? Am I going to vote no? Well, I'm voting yes, and the reasons I get people calling me that are going to vote no, they're going to vote no because they don't see that 6K in the M&R, and by God, that's not fair. Well, we're going to get that, so we're going to get the 6K if it's ratified. Some folks are upset about the seniority. Some folks are upset about the union took away their right to the company to offer that early out. It's inaccurate. It's an inaccurate statement. That's on the company. We tried to entertain a conversation with them about it, and they did not want to get in the details. So whatever reason that you have to vote yes or vote no, I respect that right. I'm going to vote yes for this, and I'm going to move on with my life, or try to. This July 6th will be 5 years that you voted for me and sent me to Hollywood, Maryland to sit down with the IM and start going through this. July 6th will be 5 years. Since that time, I was involved at the table for most of that time, but along the way, the negotiation structure changed, and the only people that was at the table for the union's behalf were people that did not have to live underneath this contract. And on the company side, none of those folks have to live underneath this contract. So we're losing money every month, every day, every second. We're losing time off. We're losing money in our 401k. And for those phone calls and those folks that text me, they're not mad at me. They're just, I get it. You're upset. Do you want to vote no and send people back to the table that don't have to live underneath this contract? That's concerning. So if you don't like the way things were handled, I get it. I'll stay pretty upset most of the time myself. But I'm willing to stay in the process and try to work within the process and the guidelines of unions and how they're structured to bring about a better process to try to make sure that the members on the floor, those that pay my salary, those that pay other union leaders' salary, that it's your voice that comes forward to the table. So, been asked my opinion. I'm giving it to you publicly on this video. I'm voting yes. If you want to talk to me about why you think that I should vote no, I'd entertain that conversation. But where I've been the last almost 5 years and what I've seen, it's painful that we've lost as much money It's like water under the bridge, and it's not coming back. I'm not going to go to the table and fight and overcome the money that we'll be losing every month. I also, if you're a football fan and your team can score 70 points, but they don't, and they only win by 7 points, it's still a victory. It's just not a 70-point victory. It's not a blowout. There's things in this contract that I don't like, but there's more goodness in this contract than there is the other way around. If you're a person sitting somewhere and you feel like that the contract is so harmful and egregious to you, that's your right to have that opinion, and you vote accordingly. But then ask yourself, is that going to move the dial forward to get something better? I don't know. I don't know if that will or not. So I'm rambling. I'll stop rambling. Janet's pretty busy up front. A lot of things going on. They're trying to find out who's eligible, who's not eligible to vote. New hires, we've got to get them in. We've got to get them counted. If you're on leave of absence, how long have you been on leave of absence? Deanne and Janet are working to try to get that list sent off so it can be vetted. So rather than call 437-4300 and have Janet send a text to me or ask her if you can talk to me, my number's out there a lot of places. Name's Dale Danker. Phone number is 918-636-6089. 918-636-6089. I sleep a little bit, but I'll try to answer, return your call, return your text, return your email. If you send an email, if you go to the website and send an email, that has to be kicked to me through our website. It's more difficult. It'd be easier if you just blew my phone up and sent a text message to me, if that's at all possible. But I'll try to get back to everybody as I can. I do want to say that I've been sitting here trying to go through the articles and how I'm going to handle getting that information to you in more of an in-depth conversation. So I want to cover this real quick. I'm not going to cover purpose of agreement Article 1. I'm not going to cover status of agreement Article 2 or Article 3, duration of agreement. It's 5 years. There's a 6-month early opener. 4, effect on prior agreements. That basically says this contract supersedes prior agreements. But the seniority questions of the Castro decision with the TWA, if you go to the seniority article, it'll state in there that this new contract will recognize past decisions regarding seniority. Those two work together, Article 4 and Article 11 with seniority. So some questions about that. I'm not going to cover Article 5. There will not be a definitions article in this new contract. Tried to work through the contract, and as you read it, you should be able to understand what everything means within those particular articles. Not covering Article 10, probationary period. It's cut from 180 days to 90 days. Number 12, reduction in force. There's no more juniority pool. You'll be able to shotgun seniority if we have station protection for one, but in the future, if something does happen to a force majeure, coronavirus or something catastrophic where they do reduce, you'll use your seniority to displace. Won't be juniority pool. If you're in Tulsa and you typically had to go to LaGuardia or Chicago, I can't remember where the juniority pools always come up from. That language doesn't exist anymore, or won't if it's ratified. Shift swaps here in Tulsa, we've been on shift swaps for a few years. At ratification, a few other little parameters will go into effect. You can read that. Those articles now you have available to you. You can read that. Overtime, we have double time back. In the past, when we had double time, if you were working a Saturday and then boom, you would have rolled up Sunday, you would have got double time. The supervisors always figured out a way to prevent anyone from getting double time. They can't do that anymore. It's low man up. If you're a low man, Saturday or your first day off, and then, or if you have Friday, Saturday, or you have Tuesday, Wednesday off, if you're low man up, you're low man up. You're ready to pay. The company can't really look and distinguish it at that anymore to shut down overtime. There's no mandatory overtime. Basically, there's not going to be any supervisors walking up to you when you're in line to clock out and go home and giving you a white slip or catching you walking down the hallway. That's gone. Field trips will be paid at 1.75 times your pay with the ability to have paid rest at straight time. Not going to cover that in depth. 20 training. I'm not going to cover training. 21 SIDA badge. 21.1 background check. Then holidays, vacation, sick leave, leave of absence, limited duty, fitness for duty, safety and health benefits, and retirement benefits. I'm working with Jason Best and Terry Buck to try to next week set up some times for all 3 shifts to be able to come probably like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is what the guys are thinking. And they will be able to have a meeting over here at the hall for those of you interested in learning more about those particular articles. Not going to cover 31 union security dues check off. There's kind of a little bit of a poison pill in that. There's also a little bit of a poison pill in was it in benefits, but doesn't affect the TWU guys. It's if somebody comes in and takes over representation from the association. I haven't read it in its entirety, but it's out there on social media saying that somebody was to take over representational rights, that the IAM guys would lose their health benefit plan. They would fall to the American airline plan that the TWU is under. So those things are kind of called poison pills, if you will. I'm not for sure all the details about that. It's just something that's very entertaining and interesting to talk about. So not going to cover representation right now. Not going to cover, that's 32, 33 grievance procedures. There's a lot of changes there, but we'll get with the shop stewards and we'll get that fully understood with them going forward if this gets ratified. 34 System Board of Adjustments, not doing a dive on that. 35 General, please go read General. It's got some gee whiz information in it that I think it was 17 in our old book. Not covered in uniforms. 36, 37 bulletin boards. 38 no strike, no lockout. 39 recognition of rights and compliance. So trying to set up the live broadcast for Monday the 23rd to cover Article 6 scope, Article 11 seniority, Article 16 compensation. My initial plan is to, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., have a meeting, 3 hours, live broadcast, hopefully catch the midnight guys that want to come down and participate by here at the hall, sitting in the seats. Do that meeting again, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for second shift folks to come before they go to work, and then 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. for the day shift. That's on Monday to cover scope, seniority, and compensation. Then on Tuesday, 24th, live broadcast. You should be able to text your questions in. I will have the officers managing those texts coming in and be able to feed them to me. But Tuesday the 24th, I want to cover classification, Article 7, qualifications, Article 8, filling of vacancies, Article 9. Again, we'll do 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Wednesday the 25th, I have a court date that I can't skip at 1:30 p.m. in Rogers County, and so I've modified, because of what we're going to cover, I've modified that a little bit. If we start at 9:30 a.m. and go to 12:30 p.m. And cover hours of service, Article 14, absence from duty, Article 14.1, rebids 14.2, realignment 14.3. And have another meeting. I should be able to go to court, and a lot of times you sit there for an hour or two before you go in front of the judge, but I should be able to be back from Rogers County back over here and hopefully start that meeting again to cover those things from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Thursday, voting at 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Right now, initially, they're looking at the Tulsa Speedway across, across from the Highway 169, that service road. We're looking at, it's a big parking lot. We're looking at getting some mobile mini offices set up over there and hooked up. And it's a big enough parking lot. People can come over. We got to verify who you are and have you sign a sheet that we'll have to hand in. It's kind of what it's all looking like. But more details will come about that. They're still setting in there right now, trying to hammer that out and get everything lined out. They're doing a pretty good job of tackling something that is ridiculous. My opinion, we should have voted by phone like we have done in the past. There's other locals that wanted to vote electronically, but again, at my level, we didn't have a say-so in that. We voiced our concerns, and there you go. We voiced our concerns and told, well, we're still going to do it this way. Like I said, 918-636-6089. Try to answer any question that you have. Y'all have a great day, and thank you.